He also is the Vice Chair of the Assembly, Telecommunications and Utilities Committee. Assemblyman Mukherjee is the first Indian Bengali state legislator in the United States and the first Asian American to serve as the Assembly Majority Whip in state history. Big round of applause. During his time in the legislature, Assemblyman Mukherjee has championed legislation to expand access to healthcare and essential services and to promote affordability for all New Jerseyans. Please welcome with a big round of applause, Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee. And before you say anything, what's a young guy like you doing in politics? I really want to know. He said drinking too much. You know, if that happened in India, we'd all be in big trouble.
Wait, don't go anywhere. I guess when you're ready.
One more thing before you begin, we'd like to present a small memento of thanks to you for being here, for gracing this occasion.
Diabetes, they call diabetes, and thank you, Mandira, for that overly generous introduction. They call diabetes a silent killer because the symptoms are so easy to miss and they sneak up on you. And I'll tell you very briefly a story about a young lady in the rural outskirts of Calcutta, India, who in the 70s, by the time she was in her early 40s, missed these symptoms, and that's the problem with the lack of awareness about diabetes. Here in the United States, we are the ethnic minority that suffers with the highest prevalence rate of any ethnic group when it comes to diabetes. A quarter of South Asian Americans are diabetic, and half are undiagnosed. This young lady, her name is Monica Banerjee, the adverse effects continued as they would from undiagnosed diabetes. One thing led to another, and by 1986, at 54 years young, she passed away. She was my grandmother, my mother's mother, and I wish I could tell you that was a unique story, but every family in here has a similar story. That's how widespread it is. The sad thing is, half a century later, in the United States, in our adopted homeland, in this advanced democracy, not that much has changed. Sure, the permanent loss of vision is reversible if you catch it earlier than she did. In 1986, when I was 2 years old when she died, she had lost her vision permanently, no longer blurred, and so she couldn't physically see how adorable I was. It all went downhill from two. But the thing is that by and large, we, as a community, as an immigrant community, as a diaspora community, that lack of awareness continues to haunt us to this day. Half of South Asian Americans who die as a consequence of their diabetes do so before the age of 60. But things are changing, and thanks to the efforts of organizations like the SKN Foundation, who are making a specific outreach to this disproportionately affected minority population, ours, things are getting better. My mom, her daughter, is not diabetic. She's pre-diabetic, but we get to watch it. And she turns 70 next week, and she's got 40 years to go. Let's give Mom a round of applause. She's mad that I revealed her age. Dr. Murthy and Dr. Mehrotra, what you're doing by establishing the center for education awareness at St. Peter's is so important because of where we are. In New Jersey, a stone's throw, my legislative district has Jersey City in it, Ellis Island, which is in New Jersey, not New York. There was a court decision over it. A stone's throw from our shoreline and the quintessential symbol of being welcoming to immigrant communities. New Jersey, we're 400,000 strong, the South Asian population. We're between 4.25%, 4.5% of the state population. So, and Middlesex County is an incredibly diverse county, so it's the right place to do it, and I'm so grateful to you for your efforts. So, without further ado, I want to acknowledge just a couple of other public servants who are here tonight. They were called out earlier. Former Commissioner of Health of the state of New Jersey, the first South Asian woman to serve in that cabinet position in any state in the United States. Dr. Poonam Maleg is here with us. And not just as a South Asian American, but as a former United States Marine, I'm deeply appreciative, after she was Commissioner of Health, for her tireless efforts as Undersecretary of Health for the United States Department of Veterans Affairs in fighting to make sure that our veterans got the access to the care that they deserve. So thank you, Dr. Maleg. And my dear friend, my colleague, a veteran himself, a former Air Force captain, who, after graduating from Princeton and doing his residency at what's now the Sidney Kimmel Medical College at Thomas Jefferson, didn't think that he had enough to do on his plate. So then he went to law school, and he also got a JD. Went on, we're grateful for that. He went on to become elected to the state assembly and re-elected and re-elected and re-elected. And to this day, he is still the chairman of the Assembly Health Committee, where he has done so much in terms of ensuring that there's not only access to healthcare, but quality healthcare services for New Jerseyans. He has been an ally of a number of minority communities, certainly the South Asian community. And I'd like to ask Assemblyman Dr. Conaway to come up and join me on behalf of the State Senate and our dear friend, Senator Vin Gopal, who has joined Herb and I, and Herb and me, in sponsoring a joint legislative resolution to honor, first, if we could call up Dr. Mehrotra, maybe? I'm not going to read the whole thing, but we are, it's a singular honor for us as lawmakers to salute and commend the SKN Foundation upon this auspicious occasion and everything that they are doing and that you, Dr. Modi, are doing in benefiting the South Asian Diabetes Education and Resource Center at St. Peter's University Hospital. Please come up and join us. This one's for you. And to the foundation and Dr. Ryan. Thank you all, and just make sure, before Dr. Conaway says a few words, just make sure that you don't rest on your laurels when you go home tonight. We are so appreciative that you're here. You all deserve to give yourselves a round of applause, and please do, for your support. No, you can clap for yourselves, that's okay. No need for modesty. But if you wrote a check, if you can afford it, you can write a bigger check. And if you can't, then you can go home and spread the word and tell a neighbor, tell your friends and family in the South Asian community so that they can be aware of the symptoms and so that we can reduce that unacceptable prevalence rate in our community. Thank you.
Here's our Wonder Boy. Hi, everybody. It is a great pleasure for me to be among so many distinguished guests and others who are willing to pull the oars that need to be pulled to face down and defeat the scourge of chronic disease. Diabetes being a principal problem among the South Asian community. And as I think about this evening, I think about collaboration and how important collaboration is to facing down the many challenges we face as human beings on this earth. You don't get to this place. Now, last year, I was in a very nice basement that was a basement. And now we're in a wonderful ballroom filled with people who understand the importance of this cause and are willing to take up arms against this terrible problem. When you work together, when you combine your strengths, when you look to the future with hope, you can do great things. You can accomplish what needs accomplishing in a world that often places difficulties before us, but it's overcoming those difficulties, working against them, working in concert, that difficulties such as diabetes and other chronic diseases can be defeated in our community. Working together. Institutions of care. Professionals who go out and teach those about their disease. I've been privileged over the last decade, working in education myself, educating the next generation of internal medicine residents. Thinking what Mr. Kimball said, he's not here, but giving people the tools to be successful in their lives and taking on the challenges that they personally face. And being being the educators who now spread the word to other people so that they might develop the tools that they need and the help that they need to better their lives and their futures. This cause that's taken up here by great leadership, Dr. Malhotra, Dr. Murthy, and I think of Dr. Kathari out there, Julia, talk about a mentor, a teacher, leading the way for that next generation. As you spread education, you spread hope, you spread knowledge, you spread a way to a better life, not only in your own institution, but right across the world with your students, where the people that you've affected go and pass on what they've learned. It's a wonderful gift. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to share in that work with so many here, and I look forward to being before you in the future in a bigger room with even more people, and I will promise you this. As long as I'm privileged to serve, I'll continue to serve and to be with you shoulder to shoulder as we face the challenges that we face in healthcare. Good luck and congratulations.
Dr. Conway, just a small memento for you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, celebrity is defined as the state of being well known. This definition certainly applies to St. Peter's University Hospital's Dr. C.S. Pichumani. St. Peter's healthcare system's top priority is attracting and maintaining highly skilled practitioners. Dr. Pichumani exemplifies St. Peter's best talent. He is the chief of the Division of Gastroenterology, Hepatology and Clinical Nutrition. He is an internationally recognized gastroenterologist for over 50 years. Dr. Pichumani is a pioneer research leader and has hundreds of published works, including major textbooks. He is a passionate and tireless educator, teaching and earning the respect of generations of physicians in training. Please welcome him with a big round of applause, Dr. Pichumani. Doctor, we're going to do things a little differently with you on stage. I'm going to ask you a few questions. We're going to do it in a Q&A. How does that work for you?
Unfortunately, if that is the case, I have to accept it. But I have to tell you one thing. For 50 years, I have been asking questions to students. This is the first time somebody is asking me questions.
How about that?
And that too in public, viewed by so many people. I want you to ask me simple questions.
I'll try and keep them simple. I'll try and keep them questions that you'll be able
I can
to
answer.
There'll be no googlies here.
Okay.
Okay.
Every time when you ask a good question, I will say, that question is very good.
Oh, okay. Now I all right. Here's the first one. You are an internationally known specialist in gastroenterology and not specifically trained in diabetes. Yet you become an expert in diabetes. How did that come about? And how is that question?
Every Indian is a diabetologist. Diabetes is a disease of Indians for 3,000 years. In Charaka Samhita, they have described 17 types of diabetes. When the people hear, they know about type 1 and 2, maybe 3. In Sanskrit, they have talked about prameha, ikshumeha, madhumeha, and it goes on many mehas up to 17.
But how did you get to know about so many mehas?
Coming from a family of diabetics, when I graduated from med school, I had the opportunity to study diabetes in young children in the state of Kerala. Many children under the age of 18, they had diabetes, and I used to go to their houses and take care of them. But insulin was very expensive and they couldn't afford, but whatever we could do, we did. For a period of 7 years, my goal was to study these diabetics and do something for them. Then I didn't know that the gland pancreas was part of gastroenterology in the United States. So I came here, I got into gastroenterology by accident, but my interest in diabetes continues.
But there's also another interest in diabetes because you yourself.
That was something that I didn't expect. I was told by my teachers that the expatriate Indian will develop diabetes 10 years earlier. In the 1960s, the teachers in India used to say, if you go abroad, you will develop diabetes 10 years earlier, not because you change your passport or visa. It is because you start eating all the ice creams, bucket full of ice creams here, and you gain weight. In 1971, I did a study of Indians in North America. More than 60% of the Indians gained 20 pounds in weight in the first 2 years. I was one of those.
How much ice cream did you eat and what was your favorite flavor? How's that question?
I don't know, my wife is here. Whatever I ate, from 135 pounds, I came up to 155 pounds. And the reward that I got was diabetes. As my teacher said, 10 years ahead of average Indian, the expatriate Indian got diabetes.
The ice cream is so good here. And
Ice cream or
irresistible.
whatever else I ate.
So you yourself have had a very active career of 50 years, and how long have you experienced, or how long have you been living with diabetes?
When I was diagnosed with diabetes, the diabetologist told me that don't worry, your lifespan will be almost 2/3 of an average individual. So I calculated the lifespan. For an Indian it is 70. So I thought maybe I will live up to 55 years old. And that time when I was only 32, it looked so long. But when I reached 54, it wasn't that long. It was too soon. But now, after 50 years, I'm okay, I'm doing well. And that's because I changed my diet. Not only I changed my diet, my wife changed her diet, although she is not a diabetic. But only Indian wives will do that. Is that right?
Where is Mrs. Pichumani?
She is there.
Please raise your hand. What an incredible lady you are, really. Big round of applause.
After 54 years, we are still married.
But one second, you listened to everything that she said. She changed her diet for you, but you listened to everything that she said. And all the wives sitting over here in the audience want to know, what magic did she use so that you listened to her? Don't you want to know that?
From the beginning, she had trained me to follow her instructions.
That is always the answer. And that is the secret of a happy marriage.
That's right. not only she changed their diet, the whole family adopted a healthy diet, and we started doing exercise as you mentioned. So we regulate our diet, portion control. That's what we do. As far as possible, we do exercise. We maintain our weight below the average American weight. We don't try to catch up with the American weight. We always try to keep it below. So with all these things, I believe I am able to keep up with my diabetes.
So 50 years of an active career as a gastroenterologist and 50 years living with diabetes, how do you manage to juggle everything and still look so fit and handsome? See, that is the best question I've asked. That is the best question I've asked all of you, right?
Let me answer this question in 2 ways. I don't know, whoever says that, you have to check your eyes, okay?
He is very fit and very handsome. All the ladies over here who agree with me, raise your hands. So I can't imagine all these ladies having a problem with their eyes.
When I walked in today, always I hear this comment. People who had seen me 20 years ago, they say, you haven't changed at all. That depresses me. Because I never knew that 20 years ago I looked 80.
So you have been both doctor and patient. Can you share some insights with everybody over here? Some of your experiences.
Dr. Katari mentioned that Indians are doing well. Indians are perhaps doing wonderfully well in this country, not only as 7-Eleven owners or gas station people. 40,000 Indians are doctors here, and the per capita income of an Indian is the highest. And there is affluence in Indian family, and the penalty that you pay is gain of weight gain and the sweetness that accompanies the weight gain, diabetes. We are all genetically sweet people, Indians. So we have to be careful not to make it sweeter. So we have to do exercise, control our diet. If you are a rice-eating person, control the rice. If you are a wheat-eating person, wheat is not superior to rice, but still control what you eat. Always keep your weight under control. Do exercise. Be optimistic. And India and Indians, we have a great benefit also because we have highest incidence of diabetes. We should learn more about diabetes and contribute to the world on how to manage diabetes and how to live with diabetes. And we are doing well. The 3 biggest contributions of India, yoga, meditation and vegetarianism. All the 3 are great components of good health.
Dr. Pichumani, I have to say you are an absolute star. A big round of applause. You made us laugh. And you share your experiences with us. Thank you very much. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
With your wife's permission?
Yes, she's there.
Really so nice talking to you. And you have an incredible sense of humor. And keep up with the exercise.